Hey everyone, thank you again for joining us for another episode of the Liverpool Connection podcast, Pub Chat. We're here at our favorite Irish pub, Austin, Texas. We are at BD Riley's after a 2-0 victory over Man City. It's loud, guys, so turn up your volume. We're going to try to speak closer to the mic. And Jono, 11 points up after 13 games. Life is good under Arne Slot.
What a win that was then. Well, 11 points up over City, 9 over Arsenal, right? But what was superb about that? Just total dominance. I mean, it was a little bit nervy because we should have had the second goal for a long time, and so it was nervy till we got it. But man, just we barely gave them a chance, a sniff all game until we made our own mistake with Virgil and Kelleher came up big there, but just superb from start to finish, I think.
You expound on that. Like the only chance they got was from our mistakes, right? We really gave them nothing. I mean, Holland hardly touched the ball. In the first half, we probably should have been up 3 or 4-0, right? Van Dijk had 2 headers that you think one of those should be in the back of the net, but we totally dominated. And I mentioned this during the game. It's like it looked like one team is full of confidence and one team has zero confidence anywhere in the pitch. The big talking point for on the City side is that Ederson didn't start this game, so obviously Pep is feeling the pressure, trying to get a result here today to drop Ederson, one of the top 3 or 4 keepers in the world, and he's not starting this game. Tells you a lot about the psyche of Man City.
Yeah, I mean it's a weird one. Sometimes I don't really understand where Pep's going, but sometimes he works out. He's like a genius and he figures something out. I don't think their keeper Ortega was terrible today. He had some decent moments, but of course he gives away the penalty. Ederson, I've seen him do the same thing though, so that's just down to Diaz being just more alive and quicker to the ball. So, but I mean, yeah, all over the first half, they just looked less confident. They were giving stupid fouls away. They were getting yellow cards. I don't know what to say. Yeah, we were just outstanding. Of course, they had a period, second half, where they kind of controlled the ball a little bit. But honestly, I think we were fine with that. We were like, okay, we'll just wait to hit you. And when we won the ball back, I was just so impressed with how calm we were and how we knocked that ball around. We were so confident looking when we won that ball back and just broke on them.
We talked this about our previous podcast, how we had the legs in the midfield, and it really showed in that first half. They never had a moment on the ball. We won the ball so many times. We could have scored within the first 5 minutes of the game, right? And we're all over. They didn't find a way out. Their midfield with Nunez and Fabio, they're not going to be those guys that are working off the ball, right? And Gundogan in there. And Gundogan's a great player, but he's not going to go, like we said, he's not box-to-box guy at this moment in time, right? And Grammars and McAllister and Zoboslai getting the start over Jones, which, we were like, who's going to get that start? But those legs in that first half, we're all over them. There was no spaces for them to work their way out. And, Holland's a great player. He really is. When at least he's getting service.
Right.
He's just another person up there, and we dealt with him well. Joe Gomez comes in the lineup because of the Canales injury. I thought he played really well.
Yep.
Well, looking forward to seeing the stats about him after the game, but I don't think he put barely a foot wrong this whole half, the whole game as well.
Yeah. No, Gomez, superb. Didn't seem to. I mean, I think we did as a team a great job of not letting the ball get in near Haaland. They couldn't get the ball into him. I don't remember too many times anyone having to make too many challenges. Virgil a few times on Haaland. But then our midfield just kept him at bay. And, yeah, you and I thought Jones deserved to start. But I think, clearly thought, well, the legs of Soboslai. And I think he was outstanding covering every time the ball went out to a winger. It seemed like Soboslai was out there, and Maka to some extent too, covering helping the fullbacks. Gomez, I don't think he made a single mistake that I can remember. Just everybody was top drawer, including the one who I was maybe a little nervous after being out for a while. Trent, defensively outstanding. And he had a few good moments going forward, but the biggest thing was his defensive work was just superb. I think it was that Nunez guy, never got past him. And then mostly Doku, who always looks dangerous, and beat a guy. He maybe beat Trent once or twice, but then we had the right guys around Gravenberg and Soboslai to help, and he got nowhere too. So just freaking. So the stats you were asking about, I think it was about 3.3 on FotMob, our XG versus zero point 0.8 to them. We really, I mean, honestly, the entire team was superb, but our forwards should have had more goals. Gakpo and Salah particularly. Maybe wasted some chances, and Salah will be pissed at himself a little bit, even though he gets the penalty. But the good thing is, we even got to rest some guys. We got two, games that we should win, but we need to win, the away games coming up, and just take care of business, and then we move on to the next.
You're right. We do have that midweek game against Newcastle, which never easy to go up to Tyneside and get a victory, right? But like you said, the Zoboslai brought in some energy into the midfield. They never had a chance to really work themselves out of the back, right? Gapco starting on the left, and which I think Slot prefers him out there on the left, right? And with Diaz and Salah, and it just there's a mentality about the team, and I would have to say, man, it's a little bit more of a team press than Klopp's had a team press, because right now Slot has them pressing with 4 instead of just 3. He brings that other midfielders because we really play with a 4-1-5 almost, just pressing up there. But we're all over them. Second half, Haaland did have a chance, and then Kelleher again. He comes out here, and he only has to make one save the whole game, and that was key, though.
Yeah, it was massive. It just gets – he's only like a yard away, maybe even less, and it almost sneaks under his body, but he gets his arm back there. Superb. I thought a word for Nunez when he came in, too. Like, he won a bunch of tackles deep, and I know he's not getting in the positions to get the goals right now, but if Bobby Firmino was doing the same, I think everybody would be fine with it, because then you're getting, Salah and Gakpo and Diaz in for the goals. And so, you know what? If we win games, I don't give a shit if my number 9 is, winning tackles back here and then setting up the attacks. I think somebody said he was part of the penalty goal that we got.
Yeah, he won the ball back.
Yeah, right. So, again, good work from him, and he seems to be enjoying it. Even though, he's not getting massive goals, he seems to be enjoying this run with the team. And if he's happy, I'm happy.
Well, if you're happy, Jono, I'm happy, and everybody else in Austin is happy. But the thing is with Nunez, he's more of a victim of the contract than his stats, because his stats are top draw, man. If you're counting just being a Firmino-type pressing or the chances created. He came on, and within 2 minutes, he already had a chance. So there's a place for him on this particular team. Whether it's a long-term solution for a Slot, who knows? But for this year and for this team, everybody has a role, right? And I can't say enough about Gomez stepping in. We're trying to figure out, was he going to play right back, center back? And then Kwanzaa comes in at the end, and he played very, very well. And that just bodes well for the future of this squad this season, because Kwanzaa was the starting center back at the beginning of the season. Obviously, he got subbed out early. I don't think the gaffer has a ton of confidence in him, but every time he gets to play and show his mettle, it's going to bode well for us, right?
No, I think that was smart of Slot.
Look at that, man. Just whiskeys just show up.
You got to order them, Steve. No, I think that was smart of Slot to bring him in at right back and keep Gomez where he is. I think the one thing that we've seen that's a little different with Slot to Klopp is that he definitely likes to simplify things for players, I think, by trying to minimize how much he moves them around. He's like, you're the starter over here and you're fullback. And there's we talked about this in the preview. There's times when he will change it, like Diaz to the 9, where clearly Jota and Nunez were meant to be his 9s. But that's because of necessity. And in general, he's like, Gomez is as much as I can. He's going to be my center back. And obviously, Kwanzaa comes in. Okay, that's a change for him to play right back, but it was necessity. Trent can't do 90 yet. And Kwanzaa did good out there. He got beat once, I think, by Doku, but he had help. So I think it made sense to keep Gomez where he had done well. Keep him in the middle. Don't move too many things. And I like that. I like that, keeping things as simple as you can, especially for a new coach where you're already trying to teach guys new things that you haven't done before. Don't do too many changes at once, right?
You talk about defensive help. One thing I noticed about this season versus last season, Van Dijk is back to his best. Last season, he was kind of hesitant about moving into spaces. He was caught out of position quite a few times. I mean, this season is all about maybe overconfidence on making entry passes into the midfield, but defensively, he's spot on. He's recognizing danger. He's covering his fullbacks, even the other center back when they push up a little bit. Which last season he was like 2 paces off there, so he's kind of back to reading the game and confidence in his fitness to make the cover. Like last season, he was kind of backed off a little bit, and he was kind of a split second off the cover, which as a center back, that 1 second makes a huge difference, right? And so from back to front, our team is really a complete squad. There's I kind of look at it and it's like there's really no deficiencies there. Maybe we need more cover and right back because Bradley's out. But if Trent's coming back, there's no international breaks coming up till February. It's a time for Trent to show his worth, and Trent played really well after not 3 weeks not playing.
He did. And you can always, when you get one injury in a spot, you can always say, "Oh, we maybe need more cover there." But I think you just have to find solutions within the squad. For the longest time, Pep has done that with City. He hasn't, as much as he spent $1 gazillion or whatever, he hasn't necessarily always had a massive squad with 3 guys at each position. What he's done is move people around, and I'm fine with that. Trent and Gomez. I think Gomez can cover Trent when Connor's out, and I think we shouldn't have. I'm not a fan of buying 3 guys for every position. I think it's stupid. You mentioned Virgil, and what I loved was one I remember today is, he stepped out of defense one time and made a run up, and he got burned for that. With the other day with the back heel that didn't come up against Southampton. But what I loved was all the defenders are super aggressive again today. They weren't backing off. They weren't worried about making mistakes. Thought Robo again was he seems back to his best to me. I know he gets the penalty away against Madrid, but the overall game was good. And then he was excellent today. Man, that ball through to Gakpo from deep, that was like old school, So I thought we saw some stuff where we're getting behind defenses, whereas under Slot, one thing that I think we haven't seen compared to Klopp is putting ball crosses in behind the defense so much. We've been, underlapping fullbacks and stuff. So it's good to see that just as a variation. But what a team. What a freaking team.
I agree with you that Robbo played excellently today. That one ball to Gapco, like you referenced, what I was looking for on Gapco on that one is to do the fake touch like Torres did that one play. You fake it, and the keeper comes out, and it goes to your right foot, and you slide in. But, total team performance, they got to be riding high, 11 points. Maybe Palmerston will say we played somebody eventually. He'll admit that we played somebody.
Anyone yet, Steve?
Well, I mean, they haven't not played CC United on their day, on a rainy day in Austin, Texas. But We're flying high, Jono. And if you're not on the bandwagon yet, get on the Reds. Quit talking about contracts. Enjoy the squad that's playing week in and week out. Salah's not worried about it. Van Dijk's not worried about it. Trent's not worried about it. So you should not be worried about it. Live in the moment because this team is going to achieve a lot of great things this season.
Absolutely. 100. Couldn't agree anymore.
All right.
Just fucking enjoy it.
That's right. Enjoy yourselves. Drink a pint. Hang out with your buddies. And until next time, like, subscribe, put on your notifications, and we'll see you on the for Wednesday. Cheers.